Hey, what's up guys? Ezra. Welcome back to the Big Time Eaters channel and welcome back to Big Time Recipes. Today we're going to be going over a simple, fast red sauce, and we can learn from a lot of videos online. You got Stephen Cusato at Not Another Cooking Show showing us how to get from point A to point B with the weekday sauce. Going to be taking some stuff from that. We also learned from Marcella Hazan, the Italian grandmother, showing her simplistic way of making sauce. So we're going to take some elements from both of those, and then we're also going to apply some things that apply to my flavor palette. Taking techniques and learning ways of doing things, learning the traditional ways of doing things, and then applying it to what you have available to you and what fits your flavor palette. So let's go ahead and do a breakdown of the ingredients, and then let's hop into it because this sauce comes together real quick, just like that. All right, so as far as ingredients that we're going to be utilizing today, in here I've got a basil stem, as well as 5 cloves of chopped garlic and crushed red pepper flakes for a little bit of heat. And this is going to be a base aromatic for our sauce. I've also got some minced red onion that will be chopped up from our onion technique video. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out. I'll have a link in the description or somewhere on screen here. We've got our cheese blend. So I went with a blend of Pecorino Romano, which is a sheep's milk cheese, a little bit saltier, and the funky cheesy flavor of Parmigiano Reggiano. So I like that cheese blend. It kind of balances things out. You don't get overly salty from the Pecorino Romano, and then you also get those really deep cheesy notes from the Parmigiano Reggiano. So then of course our tomatoes. Just got some tomatoes left here, probably about 250 grams, roughly 14 ounces of crushed tomatoes in here. You can use what you like, but I know San Marzano is the standard, but that's not always what's most affordable. I think this is just a Cento brand. I like those. Just use whatever brand of tomatoes you like. Some of the flair ingredients that I like to add, the forbidden salt, the forbidden seasoning, MSG. That's going to allow some of those umami rich flavors that you get from a slow braised sauce with meat in it. It's going to allow you to get some of those flavors without actually braising the meat for hours. And another thing that I like to utilize that helps balance out the acidity, if you're not always getting the best quality of tomatoes, I know we don't always get those out here in Utah. A lot of the times we just end up buying crushed tomatoes. I like using honey. This is also a little bit my culture here. Being Filipino American, a lot of times Filipino spaghetti is sweeter rather than the savior Italian side of red sauce. So pasta, your choice. Using this stuff from Costco. I think it's called casarecci. Casarecci? I don't know. Look at that. I like this shape. It really sticks to the fork pretty well, holds the sauce pretty well because you got the little ridges and folds in it. And then the last thing is I've got some unsalted butter. So this is another way to layer some fats in and emulsify the sauce when we're finishing it at the end. Oh, last thing, just a bottle of avocado oil. That's going to allow us to infuse the flavor from our garlic, basil, and red pepper flakes. All that coming together, let's go ahead and get to cooking. All right, guys, so we're over the induction burner again. We're using a wok because that's the widest pan that we have, and we're cooking the sauce pretty hard and fast. So wider base, wider surface area is going to allow for quicker cooking. Got it at about a 5 out of 10. At this point, we can add in our avocado or olive oil, whichever you choose, and we're going to coat the bottom of the pan. So we're adding in a good amount of oil. We're going to go in with our aromatics, those being our basil stem, our garlic, and red pepper flakes. Going to lower the heat. Want this to be able to infuse a little bit, so I'm going to go to a 3 out of 10. The flavors are starting to bloom. You got the red pepper flakes releasing the spiciness and that peppery flavor, and the garlic is starting to brown up and also release its aromatic flavor. And even just smelling it right now, you get the notes of the basil stem as well. We're going to let this go until some of our garlic is starting to brown, so we get that heterogeneity, as Adam Ragusa likes to say, the difference of textures and flavors. We get a little more roasted garlic flavor and a little bit more softer garlic notes. So sort of a garlic confit and roasted garlic mixture of the two. And at this point, once everything's got a little bit of a head start, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my onion. And this onion is gonna bring a little bit more sweetness to the party. Again, in Marcella Hazan's most simplistic red sauce recipe, that's what the onion's used for, to provide some of the sweetness into the sauce. At this point, I'm gonna bring my heat up just a little bit so the onion can start to cook down. And then we will be removing the basil stem. We got the use out of it. We just wanted the flavor, but no one wants to pick out a stem from the red sauce. So kind of similar to some other activities.
Smoke weed
Anyways,
every day.
we're gonna go ahead and let this cook down for another minute or so before we remove that stem. Okay, at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and remove my basil stem. Take that off to the side, and we can go in with our tomatoes at this point. And once we get these tomatoes in, I'm gonna go ahead and get our pasta started as well. And we can bring this over to about a 6 out of 10. We're gonna cook this pretty hard and fast.
Bruh.
It's not a slow braised sauce. We're gonna go ahead and get our pasta started now. Be back in a sec. All right, guys, we're back at our wok here. We're taking the wok to Poland. All right, so we got our wok going, and you can see as this sauce starts to cook down and reduce a little bit over that medium-high heat, you're gonna get what's essentially free tomato paste on the side. So make sure we're scraping the edges. So got about 3 cups of cheese here, about 1.5 cups each of Parmigiano Reggiano and Pecorino, and I'm gonna add in maybe half of it right now, and utilize the rest for garnish, as well as our MSG. So I'm gonna go in with maybe about a teaspoon worth. And guys, this is smelling immaculate. At this point, I'd also be ready to add in our clover honey. So one of the good things about living in Utah is we get pretty good access to honey, high quality honey. So this is a local brand, Miller's. So this is gonna be a good natural sugar. Again, I like a little bit of that sweetness in my sauces. And it's gonna help with, if you don't have the highest quality San Marzano, lower acidity tomatoes, it's gonna help balance that out a little bit. So gonna go in with maybe a tablespoon or two, and mix that in. And of course, after adding in those ingredients, you want to check for salt and pepper. I'm gonna go check out our pasta real quick, and we'll be back shortly. All right, let's give this a go. Make sure seasoning's on point. That's tasting pretty damn good. I do think it needs a little bit more salt though, to balance the harmony, the flavors in our sauce. A little fresh cracked black pepper. That's perfect right where it's at. So we got our pasta ready, as well as our starchy pasta water to add in, help emulsify the sauce. And we also opted to undercook our pasta by about a minute so that it will absorb the sauce and be coated in it rather than swimming in it. Add a little bit in. Also at this point, we can add in our unsalted butter to help emulsify the sauce as well. It's gonna go in with about 2 tablespoons worth. All right, toss this all together. And that's gonna give us a rich, luxurious red sauce that anyone would be happy, more than willing to eat. Oh, the one component I did forget to mention in the beginning of this video, at the end I do like to add in a little bit of chopped up parsley. Optional add, But if it doesn't look good, you guys won't click on the video. So we got to make it look good. So we're going to add in our parsley now. Give that a mix. And we're right there, ready to serve. Okay, perfectly al dente. Let's get this in a plate, get a review. Let's wrap the video up. All right, guys, welcome back. We got our pasta plated up. It's looking beautiful. Let's go ahead and grab a good forkful. Get a bite. Look at that. Bite for you. If you want to focus. Bite for you, right here in this camera. And a bite for me. That has got to be one of the quickest ways from tomato sauce to fire pasta sauce that you can do. Coats the pasta really well. When we undercook it a little bit and let it finish in that sauce, you can see it's holding to the pasta rather than the sauce and the pasta being a separate thing. We use a lot of technique emulsifying the sauce with the butter and the starchy water. And we're met with this final product. Get the freshness of the parsley, that sweetness of the honey we added, and you get that rich umami flavor from that MSG that we added as well. Gotta go for another bite. All right, Denzel. Very rare that Denzel doesn't run off with the plate. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in for another Big Time Recipes video. Loved that you joined us, and we will see you in the next recipe, challenge, or review video. Catch you later.